Ted, you said in the 3 o'clock hour when you jumped in the pool today that you believe right now Red Sox buy-in is at its highest point of the season because you saw more cars in the player lot than you'd seen at any point whenever you'd come by the stadium all season long, right?
Correct.
Which must tell you that the vibes are good, that everyone is agreeing. Hey, let's get there early. Let's put in more work. Bregman is back tonight. We've won 7 straight. We got 3 more against the Rays. If we can beat this team a couple more times, we can pass them in the standings. Then we'll be in 3rd place in the East. We can lock up. We can get a nice hold on the wild card before the break. Like, I know you have said, as we have adopted one of our many mantras here on the afternoon show, you are skeptically optimistic.
Correct.
How much closer are we to removing the skepticism from that optimism?
Yeah, they're getting there, and I hope it's okay with you guys if I do this, but I put the timeline of the trade deadline as when I got to have a definitive feeling on what I think the team is, because I still need to see it against good competition. Now, the Tampa Bay Rays are good competition. They're 5-2 against the Rays. I thought they had one of their better wins of the 7 that they've won in a row. I thought last night was their best win because it came from behind. You had Walker Buehler not pitching great, but we've seen him pitch a lot worse. And then the young guys kind of helping them win that game last night. There's a lot to get excited about from that game last night, but I still need to see more of it. They come back from the All-Star game and they have some humdingers. They have 3 division leaders from the National League that they got to play before the trade deadline, where that truly, to me, I'm going to know what this team is all about. Guys coming back too, Dan, with Bregman and Yoshida, you have a clear picture of what this team's fully capable of.
It was refreshing last night, guys, to see them win a game that earlier this season they just weren't winning. The 19 one-run losses, luckily, we haven't seen that total added to in
a while now.
Just a couple weeks, probably, where it seemed like they were racking them up with ease at the beginning of the season.
Down 3-zip.
Absolutely.
Usually been over.
Yeah, that's 3-1 entering the bottom of the 7th inning. Buehler, 6 innings and 3 runs. If you tell me that's what the rest of the season's going to be for Walker Buehler, that's a 4.5. That's a 4.5 ERA. That's a guy. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would certainly love it. Going down 3-1, bottom of the 7th inning, a team gets in their bullpen. That is where the Red Sox maybe scratch across 1 run and then lose 3-2, have a couple guys on base in the bottom of the 9th. How many times have we seen that kind of frustrating loss? But the fact that they were able to deliver, capitalize on what was probably a mistake in hindsight, taking Taj Bradley out of the game.
Kind of a mistake.
Yeah, and again, in hindsight, and it's nowhere near the Kevin Cash removal of Blake Snell in the World Series after 5 innings. But that is the analytical approach that the Rays have had some success off of. So just to see them battle when they didn't have their ace stuff with a guy who is not their ace on the mound, to a win that maybe a team a couple weeks ago wouldn't have had, a win they wouldn't have had, it was refreshing. It gave me some hope. That's for sure.
Yes, that's a great point about the 1-run games, because that has just been dogging. We've been talking about strikeouts. We've been talking about mental mistakes in the field. And we've been talking about not developing whatever it is they need to be able to clear the hurdle of, oh, man, we were winning this game, and now we're losing by 1 or by 2, thanks to our own device and nonsense. And next thing you know, there goes that game. Once again, how many, if they could just split all those 1-run losses on the season, they're
10-19 in those.
They'd be in first place in the AL East at this point.
Right.
But again, as we all very, very well know, we cannot control our past. We can only live in and control our now and try to make sure that everything is set for the future. And things are looking really good for the future now because of Marcelo Meyer, because of Roman Anthony, who, yes, admittedly is not in the lineup tonight after Alex Cora told us this week that he's going to be an everyday player.
Lies again.
2 days again, lied right to our gorgeous faces. And Cedon Rafaela, who was my winner of the week in Boston sports. Dan chose Roman Anthony. Cedon Rafaela is turning into a superstar before our very eyes, and we've got some audio we'd like to share with you. This is Cedon Rafaela speaking to our friend Lou Merloni on the television broadcast postgame about just how he's getting it done.
Cedon, this last 35, 40 games for you, it's just, I mean, everything you're hitting is hard. You're getting hits every single night. For you, what do you think is the difference? What are you feeling right now in the box?
I want to win. I think that's the most important thing right now for me. I want to win. I want to play October here in Fenway. Haven't really experienced that moment yet. And in the box right now, that's what I'm trying to do, help the team win.
That's what he wants to do. I'm trying to win. I want to help this team win. And you know what's helping him find a way, guys, to win? That would, of course, be the magic elixir, the straw that's. Yep, I got way out tied up in that one.
You could use one of those drinks.
Tell me about it, bro. The straw that stirs the drink and also makes up the drink, pours it, and serves it to you. Of course, that would be Alex Bregman in a piece today put out on The Athletic. Jen McCaffrey talks about how, said on Rafaela, who has an almost 1,000 OPS over the last couple of weeks, talks about what voice does he hear inside his head, Ted, every time he goes to the plate, every time he's in the cage working on his hitting mechanics. It would be the same voice of the guy that was in the cage with him the last several weeks, been working with him all the time. It's like there's 10 of this guy.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman.
No surprise. You know, you guys know what I think of Alex Bregman. Yeah. So when I first came onto the show in late February, and there were rumors that he was going to maybe be signed here. I'm the biggest. I'm an Astros fan. I came from Houston. That's my hometown. And so go ahead, insert joke now. But I mean, those are those teams that Bregman. I'll never forget. I think he was brought up in 2016, and his first 30 at bats, he was 0 for 30, and a lot of people were questioning whether that was the right decision. And then he just turned into a brilliant player. He's so smooth defensively at third base. Such a compact, great swing. You know, he hits from the right side. And so there's obviously you can take advantage of that with the left field in here. So, and I knew his leadership characteristics were off the chart. And we interviewed John McClain, my good buddy from the Houston Chronicle down there early in the season on some football topics. We squeezed in a baseball, and I asked him about Alex Bregman, and he couldn't say enough good things about him. So I love that he's made me look good because he's gotten here and he's delivered really in ways that even have surprised me. He's taken ownership of this team. For a new guy coming in here to be so smoothly kind of become the face or the leader, I think, of this team. Yep. Is pretty impressive.
And I tell you what, I remember those early conversations that you guys were having, and I remember obviously giving credence to the talent. You've seen him do it regular season playoffs. When he's healthy, he's tremendous on both sides of the ball. But when we waded into the leadership and the example for young players and some of those characteristics, I certainly took for granted what you were mentioning about what this kid was capable of. And I think it's interesting that maybe he's even jumping a level above what you thought he was capable of, because every time you pan to the dugout, he's with Roman Anthony, he's with Marcelo Meyer, they're having conversations. You can see him mimicking an at-bat in the dugout talking to Roman Anthony after he went and hit a home run 420 feet. What more is he going to learn? Well, clearly something, because he goes and talks to Bregman. And even when it's not with the young kids, he's celebrating in the dugout. He's showing them something on the iPad. The Red Sox form a circle around wherever Alex Bregman is in the dugout. And I'm sure some of it, he wants a contract. He wants a long-term extension. So he's trying to be on his best behavior. And I'm sure that's at least a little bit of a part of what's going on. But this can't be an act. It's too genuine and too happening all the time, 24/7, for it to be an act.
It's not an act. And I'll just always say this quickly. I think what I get the sense is he's made his money. He's made his mark on the game. He's got his championship. And he loves baseball. I mean, he loves it. He's a dirt dog. He absolutely loves baseball. And so he's comes here with this relaxed kind of attitude, like I don't have anything to prove. I'm at the end of my career. I want to play in a town that loves baseball and appreciates baseball like they do here.
Yep.
I think he's in a place mentally where he has the bandwidth to want to mentor and help, because he's in such a good place personally when it comes to money, the situation, where he is at in his career, that he can afford to give energies to those other things that really a young team like the Red Sox have, they desperately need that kind of leadership.
And he's also observed it too. And I think we talked about it on the show as well, how he had Josh Reddick and he had these older, Yuli Gurriel, these older presences when he and Carlos Correa and George Springer, when
Carlos
those guys
Beltran,
came up.
Yep.
So he has seen the impact of positive enforcement from veterans. So why not pay it back?
Verlander.
And he probably also sees the talent of Anthony and Meyer and goes, oh, geez, if I just give them a little bit of a nudge in the right direction, Fitzy, then these kids are going to be off to the races, and it's going to benefit me and benefit them.
And what you really need to do is, if you're going to have a young team, you got to have it. You sprinkle in some veterans. Like I look at some of the basketball teams, how they're constructing them. I mean, Detroit's mostly all young guys. Charlotte mostly. And it's like, okay, but you really need a couple veterans, 2 or 3 veterans that have been there, that are accomplished, that are okay being mentors, mixed in with young team. It can't be all young. It has to be.
You need an Al Horford in there somewhere.
Exactly. So, and Bregman fits the bill for
He
that.
does. He does, and then some. And there's a bunch of different Bregman-related and Bregman-adjacent topics to get to here.